Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Big Questions, Small Steps. My name is Amanda, and I'm so glad that you could join me today. Today, we're going to talk about another holiday that happens in March that I never heard of before starting my research. Today, we're going to talk about the Hindu holiday of Holi. Join me. So, the Hindu holiday or festival of Holi. Have you heard of it before? I never had. Now, granted, where I live, there's not many people who practice the Hindu faith around here, but I don't recall ever seeing this holiday on a calendar. So, let's learn about it together, shall we? The holiday or the celebration of Holi. This is, as I said, a Hindu celebration. This is designed to welcome spring and mark a new beginning. So perfect timing that it's in March would be welcoming spring. This is, for the Hindu people, the most revered and celebrated festivals within their year. So big deal, and I didn't know anything about it. I feel a bit ashamed of that. This festival in particular, when people are celebrating it, it's all supposed to be about fun and letting go and releasing your inhibitions and just enjoying life and all that it holds for you. Doesn't that make it sound like you want to be a part of this? Because I know it did for me. And as I learned more, I'm like, I don't know that I would mind celebrating this holiday. So let's keep learning. So this celebration is typically only acknowledged in India, and it's a 2-day celebration. 2 days. On the first day, the people tend to visit the temple, and then they exchange sweets, and then they dance around a fire. Now, why do they dance around the fire? I'll explain that in a minute. On the second day, they're going to eat certain foods called gayuya, and then they're going to drink a beverage that's dried fruit and milk. Now, I have to be admitting that sounds kind of disgusting to me. I like dried fruit. I like milk. I don't know that I'd like them together in a beverage. That doesn't sound appealing to me. But I like the idea of eating and drinking with friends. That's fun. The other thing that they do on the second day, which I found very intriguing, is they do a lot of splashing each other with colors and water. So I picture like people walking around with super soaker guns or squirt guns and just getting people wet. And then I also picture the colored powder that you sometimes get if you're in like a colored run, just randomly thrown on people. Again, I'm going to talk about why they do this in just a minute, but just the sense of excitement and fun and lack of inhibition, it sounds fun. I like bonfires. I like dancing. I like the idea of getting people with a super soaker type gun and throwing colors at them. I think that sounds fun. I think this sounds like the perfect day that we should celebrate. But why do they celebrate it? There's a why at the edge of everything that we're doing. So I did some research. And for this celebration in particular, there's no less than 5 different legends as to why it started. I'm going to cover 3, but yeah, there's 5. They're all just like slightly, the other 2 that I'm not going to cover are slight variations of them. So the first reason that they have for celebrating this holiday, it's called Holi, it's the 8th incarnation of Vishnu. And Vishnu is it's a big deal in the Hindu belief. It's kind of like a prophet, a very big deal. So it's the 8th incarnation. So it's supposed to be the fun-loving, that's going to happen on that day. And the more you celebrate, the more likely it is that Vishnu will come and participate and have the 8th incarnation. Okay? The second idea or rationale for why they have this holiday is a story of eternal love. I know. Eternal love between Radha and Lord Krishna. So basically, to summarize the story, okay, there are these two individuals, and Lord Krishna, at that time it was just Krishna, had different colored skin. Okay. Oops, I had that wrong. Yes, Lord Krishna had different colored skin, and he was very drawn to Rahad. And Rahad was very recluse, didn't really want anything to do with him at first. But Lord Krishna decided, she's not going to like me because I have different colored skin. So she decided to play kind of like a middle school prank, if you want to call it like that. You know how boys would sometimes poke you or do things to kind of get your attention. Maybe if you're male, you don't know that, but yeah, we are aware that that's what's happening. In this story, he decides to throw some colored powder at her, probably like some pollen or something like that, so that her skin was also changed colors. And so they threw colors at each other back and forth, and she was just enamored with his fun and spontaneity and loved his charisma and his charm, and she fell for him. And they were both different colors of skin, so it no longer mattered what color their skin was to her. And that's one story as to why they have this celebration. That's why they do the throwing of the colors, in honor of that legend or that belief. Okay? The second one is a bit more dark. This one is called the Dahan legend. And in this one, there's a demon king. He's got a super long name. The demon king, Hiranyukashipu. Okay, now this guy was basically bad news. Okay? He was very self-centered. He decided he got 5 wishes, and he basically made himself immortal. All kinds of protections on him so that he could never be injured or harmed. Okay? He demanded to be worshipped like a god. Demanded. And when they refused, he decided he was going to punish them. He was going to punish them by having his sister, who was named Halaka, take them, sit them on her lap, and they were going to sit on top of a fire. Now, Halaka had received the blessing that she was supposed to be protected from fire. So his thinking was, she'll be protected by fire. This person who's rejecting me is going to be burned up in the fire. That will teach them a lesson. But that's not what happened. What happened was Halaka took this person who refused to acknowledge that the demon king was the king, and took her to the fire, sat on the fire, everything was fine. The flames started going higher and higher. And what ended up happening is actually that Halaka was destroyed in the fire. And the I believe it was a little boy that was on her lap, walked out of the pile of ashes unfazed, unharmed. And so that's why they have the bonfires. So they have the bonfires to ward off the evil, send the evil away. They do the colors and the water and the fun to remind them of the story of Rahad and Lord Krishna. And it's all about being together. Okay, this is all about being together. Sometimes this festival is even known as the Festival of Togetherness or the Festival of Colors. Now, it just sounds like a fun holiday. And one more thing I almost forgot to tell you. At these festivals, you know how moms at parties tend to sit back more and they're not a part of it? No, at this festival, the moms are front and center. They actually are the ones that dance the hardest and the longest around the fire because it is believed that they are the ones that bring the joy to the family. So the more joy they demonstrate by dancing, the more joy and happiness their family will have in the year to come. So that holiday was very intriguing to me, something I would enjoy watching, being a part of for one time, I think. Just very intriguing. Maybe you'll check it out too. So the more we know, the more we grow. Always good to learn with you. If you liked today's presentation, please go ahead and like this video, subscribe to our channel. I'd love to share more information with you. Until next time, I hope you take care. Bye-bye.